Rancho Del Rey is a very high fire hazard severity zone. What does that mean? We're going to talk about it. Hey folks, it's Chris here with Zone Zero California, and I am in the Rancho Del Rey neighborhood of northeastern Chula Vista. We're here at Marisol Park. This is just to give you guys an idea, a sense of where exactly I am. Now, before we get into it, of course, I want to remind you we are doing a subscriber giveaway. At every 500 subscribers on this channel, we're giving away a free pedestrian gate. It's a Durabond gate by Color Bond. This is a gate designed and made in Australia, built to withstand the intense heat of wildfires, and it is the exact kind of gate that you will need to replace your old wood gate with if you live in a fire hazard severity zone due to the Zone Zero regulations. And that's what we're here to talk about. We're raising awareness about Zone Zero because it's going to affect a lot of people very quickly. We're here in March of 2026, and we are expecting the state to publish their final guidelines here very soon, but we know places like Los Angeles and San Diego have already moved forward with their own county level Zone Zero regulations. So what does that entail? Well, it really essentially has to do with the 0 to 5 feet around your property or your structure, and the combustible materials allowed or not allowed, I should say, within that zone. So it affects these 6 major components, and these 6 major components together constitute a fire hardening system, and they are your landscaping, your fence, your gate, your deck or patio, your siding, and your roofing. So what does it look like in practice? Well, when it comes to your landscaping, you may have to replace your grass or your mulch with gravel or paver stones. If you have a tree within the 0 to 5 feet of your home and that tree touches your house or hangs over your roof, it may need to be replaced. We will see, we don't know yet, but these are the kinds of considerations coming up. In fact, the tree replacement has been one of the biggest sources of pushback from most people in the community because of the natural shade these trees provide, and it lowers, energy costs to cool your home, etc. So those are just some examples of landscaping. Now, I mentioned wood fences and gates earlier, right? Like I said, we're giving away a pedestrian gate. So if you have an old redwood gate or fence that touches your home or your garage, that will need to be replaced. Now, there are some woods approved, so it's not about eliminating wood completely, it's about knowing which types of building materials are or aren't allowed. So for example, Kayu Batu is a hardwood, often used for decking and fences and gates, that is approved for use by CAL FIRE. So that's something to consider, right? Again, it's not about replacing wood completely, it's about knowing which types of wood are approved. So again, I just mentioned decking, right? Replacing your old redwood deck with hardwoods may be in the cards for you here in the near future. And there's also other building materials for decks like Trex or TimberTech. These composite materials may also be considered non-combustible. If your deck framing, for example, is made out of wood, that might need to be replaced. So we'll see what these final regulations say, but these are the kinds of things to be aware of now, because essentially, either by the end of this year or certainly the beginning of next year, 2027, you're going to see more strict compliance and enforcement mechanisms kick in. So for those people in these communities that are in fire hazard severity zones, Zone Zero applies directly to you, which is why we're doing these videos. So, okay, next is your siding. Now, depending on the era and the architectural style of your home, you may or may not have wood siding, but if you do, that will most likely need to be replaced. Now, that is a much more expensive undertaking than something like replacing a fence or a gate. There are financial assistance resources available, such as grants, and we have compiled a short list of links to those types of grants in our school community. So that's another resource we have for you to check out. Now, you can access all that either through the link in the description or through the link on our website, zonezerocalifornia.com. So lastly is roofing. Now, most roofing material is most likely non-combustible, fire resistant to begin with, but again, it's part of that system. And if your system has a weak point like a tree that drops litter on your roof and you don't clean that regularly, in the event of the next wildfire, when that ember storm blows and drops embers on your roof, if you haven't cleaned it off, you know, combine that with high winds, that may be enough to, unfortunately, permeate that barrier and cause some real damage to your home or your structure. So that's really it. Okay, enough yapping. Let's get in the truck and drive around. I always like to drive around to show you guys on the map where I'm at, what kind of communities these look like, and then take a drive into the communities to show you and point out examples of zone 0 type concerns. So once again, my name's Chris. Please subscribe, go to zone0california.com, download our free checklist, and enter yourself to win a free pedestrian gate. Okay, let's go take a drive. Hey, it's Chris. We're back in the truck here. So let me first of all point out the map, show you where we're at, and then we'll zoom out to show you kind of like the larger area, and then we'll take a drive around and point out some things for zone 0. So again, Marisol Park, right? That's this park right here. This is Chula Vista, but we're in the Rancho Del Rey neighborhood here. And as you can see, it's orange is high fire hazard and red is very high fire hazard. So as we continue up this street right here, we're about to enter into the very high fire hazard severity zone. So we'll take a drive and turn into this neighborhood, unless it's gated, because there are some gated communities around here, and see if we can find some you know, possible zone 0 concerns. All right, so maybe make sure it's safe to drive. It sure is. Okay. So I mean, this is a nice community for sure, you know, but it's on a hill, and topographically these fire hazard severity zones tend to kind of coincide with elevated parts of town, elevated places that are elevated. I think it has a lot to do with the winds. So okay, we're gonna take a drive into this neighborhood. Doesn't look gated, but again, we're gonna point out a few things, mostly landscaping like the trees, and then if there's any wood fences or gates. So let me roll down the windows here. See a lot of trees right there touching the side of the homes, right? Like this house, right? So those trees that are right up next to the house, those are the kinds of things that zone 0 might impact. So now as far as wood fences and gates, I don't see many in this particular neighborhood, which is good. I see a lot of wrought iron and mason walls. So this particular neighborhood might be pretty safe, but look at all these trees. Look at all this landscaping, right? What if the state comes in and says, hey, you've got to get rid of these trees. You've got to cut this back, you know? That's going to impact a lot of people. So, oh, there's a wood fence or wood gate. So there's a handful here. Some have switched over to wrought iron, many have not. I shouldn't say many. I'm just saying, you know, I was able to at least find one wood fence. Let's see here. I'm gonna turn around safely. But yeah, so this whole neighborhood is definitely in the red zone. Now, again, look at the trees here, right next to the home. All the trees here. Trees here. So those are definitely areas of concern for when it comes to zone 0. Now, on this particular block, have I seen many wood gates or fences? No, I haven't. So that's a good thing. One less thing for this neighborhood to worry about, I guess. All right, we're gonna take one more drive down this side street and see if there's any homes with wood fences or gates over here. All right, let's see. A lot of wrought iron. Landscaping though, look at all these, you got these trees right here. I see metal gates, okay. Metal gates, a lot of metal gates here. Oh, there was a wood fence back there behind the stuff, but mostly it's metal here. So that's good for this neighborhood. But again, look at all the trees. So maybe they're safe when it comes to their gates and fences. Oh, there's a wood gate. but the trees are definitely an area of concern in this neighborhood. So yeah, Rancho Del Rey. We're gonna head back to Rancho Del Rey Parkway. Again, though, the side of this hill, right? Dried grass, lots of trees. That itself could be a source of concern, but that gives this neighborhood its charm, its feel. That, you know, like San Diego's very green, like compared to LA, I should say. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of carve-outs or special exceptions or county level rules that come out when it comes to Zone 0 regarding trees and such here. You know, we're gonna take one more drive into this next neighborhood. Again, we're on Rancho Del Rey Parkway, Rancho Del Rey neighborhood in North Chula Vista. Oh, I think I found a wood fence. Let's check it out. Yep, wood fence. Oh yeah, wood gate, wood fence, wood fence, wood fences and gates. Lots of trees too. All the palm trees, all the plants right next to the house. Those are all going to be affected. Yep, I'm seeing wood fences and gates. Wood fences and gates. So there you go. One neighborhood was fine. The next neighborhood, tons of wood fences and gates here in Rancho Del Rey. So I guess we'll leave it there. So Rancho Del Rey, listen, if you guys want to enter to win a chance to get a free pedestrian gate to replace your old wood gate, just subscribe to the channel and then go to our website, zone0california.com, and download your free Zone 0 PDF checklist guide. And of course, if you want to be put in touch with licensed contractors, just reach out to me through the phone number on our website or fill out the form over there as well. Thank you.